Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sorry, look at the time. Same time it was. So this video is more about, I guess, addressing news and media, and this is like more to the point of why I'm interested in doing these videos suddenly. Um, I did say in the last video that I watched several news media outlets, not just CNN, but also ABC, Fox, and I don't necessarily look at them for what they put out, their content, but for the comments that come out. I don't watch TV very much. This TV's here, and I rarely use it to watch TV. If ever it's on playing TV, it's because it just fell into something that was on defaultly. I don't know. But as for news, I watch everything on YouTube. YouTube seems to be the go-to place for news, and I watch a lot of different. Started with Young Turks and anything that Trevor Noah, and I started branching out into other areas like Crowder, and I like seeing the discussions that happened underneath. And I find, to me, news isn't so much what's being reported on TV every day. To be honest, if I watch the news every single day, it would look like America was constantly burning. All that's ever reported on the news is horror. It's the news of what the show wants to put out. It's the news of what the program wants to put out. To me, the news isn't what the media wants to portray. To me, the news is what the people who observe the news think and feel about what is being portrayed to them, what is being said to them, what is being fed to them, how they perceive it. So if I watch ABC, if I watch CNN, if I watch Fox, or if I watch anything really, it's more so to see the comments that follow under it and where the people line up. That to me is the news. How they stack up, where what they feel about these certain things, um, and I felt more about that after a particular thing that was stated um, by CNN. And if you'd like to look it up, I have the website pulled up on my laptop, but I'm new to this whole video recording thing, so I don't have all that equipment lined up for putting video and video and all that. The site is cnn.com/2005, so it's an old one, /11/23/politics /Donald Trump dash no /Donald dash Trump dash 9 dash 11 dash twin dash towers. So in the the statement, and I looked for it just recently just to make sure I wasn't wrong when I heard CNN say this. Um, um, Trump had made the claim that he was able to see bodies fall from his tower, from the towers when 9/11 happened, and that there were people in parts of New Jersey that were chanting and like cheering as it happened, as the towers burned, and CNN called him a liar. Now, in today's news, I know this is really weird because I'm not trying to get in trouble. I'm not trying to make a big scandal, but when we call 9/11 was such a big deal, to call someone a lie that these things never happened. Their question was, how can he see this from 4 miles away? How can he see bodies falling from 4 miles away? Now, I give him the benefit of the doubt and say it might be hard to see what arms and legs look like when they're flailing for 4 miles in distance. But you probably see some shit falling and think it's probably debris when it's really two people are holding hands and down. It's a lot of shit. Um, Maybe he didn't see it, but it didn't suggest that it didn't happen. There were reports of the body parts splattered all over, at least 50 bodies and parts splattered all over the plaza and the streets surrounding the buildings. Um, I don't know if y'all know this, but Tower 2, when it was hit clean through. It severed a lot of shit. Like, I can't give you good details of it because I'm not an expert in these things, but what was explained to me was that the way it was severed, the stairwell was lost connection. So the people who were up at a certain height, at a certain level in floors, couldn't get down. So they can only go up. They were doomed otherwise. And they went to the top floor, assuming that a helicopter would come to rescue them. But there was so much smoke that it couldn't happen. So their only way out, I guess, was to either fall with the building or jump off, and a lot of them chose to jump off. Unfortunately, um, this is I guess I should have gave a full warning to this. So this is, oh man, I should have gave a full warning. Pardon. I'll probably put this up as adult audience only because this is a strong topic. Nevertheless, um, there are eyewitnesses to seeing these things happen. There were cameras pointed at this as it happened. Time magazine had cameras themselves pointed at this when it happened. Um, there were pictures. Y'all gotta understand when this happened. There were so many things played that there was no forgetting this ever happened. There was so many. For one, we lost a lot of on East Coast in particular. I don't know what happened elsewhere. I'm from Jersey, and where I was literally right across the water from it. Well, maybe a couple miles in, but it really was a 5-10 minute train ride to World Trade Center from where I lived. Um, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Pardon. Oh man, it was a lot of radio towers came out of that. A lot of TV networks, a lot of radio stations came out of there. And then when the towers went down, everything had to be switched to, if I'm not mistaken, to analog on the Empire State Building. And if I'm not mistaken, that's exactly why we went towards digital because we America realized, well, goddamn, it took out a tower, and now we are our communications and our broadcasting is all shot. And then, if you guys remember, the converter boxes came out not so many years afterwards, and people were getting like those little vouchers in the mail to get converter boxes for TVs that weren't high def. Um, that's really what that was. That was that America was switching from analog to digital because that happened because they when the tower went down, they lost a lot of reception. And in the case, so going back to my point, with just a few networks broadcast. Well, I guess cable broadcasted it, but they were broadcasting this stuff constantly, constantly, constantly. If I'm not mistaken, I believe CNN also broadcasted their own video clips. If CNN was alive kicking because they had to because they would love shitting on George Bush even back then when it happened. Um, I'm pretty sure they recorded their own video clips or had their own clips brought into them of people who have jumped to suggest that it didn't happen. Um, and then now, my eyewitness, I admit, is this is anecdotal information. Um, I have no defense to corroborate it, or I don't have no evidence for it. I don't have pictures or nothing. In fact, the person who seen it for themselves, unfortunately, is passed away. They passed away a couple months ago, but they were running a cab service through Patterson, New Jersey, when while it happened, and they were blocked. They couldn't make it through a certain area of Patterson. I don't know because I'm not from Patterson, but they couldn't make it through because a group of people were in the streets chanting and hollering and cheering for this. Um, I didn't see that in Jersey City where I'm from. I didn't see that at all. I did see pandemonium, but I did not see that. Um, so my problem with the news out of all this, especially in CNN, and this is where I start to lose trust in CNN. If just because, well, I didn't. Okay, so understand, I am not particularly a Trump supporter. When it came to Trump and Hillary, I don't know. I I voted for Gary Johnson. If just because I didn't want to be part of the devil, and either way, then my vote really wasn't gonna count. Let's be honest. Whoever wins that state, they win my vote anyways. So it really didn't matter. I think Hillary won my state. Um, I wasn't surprised that Trump won. However, no, why was I upset about it? Um, But what shocked me was hearing CNN say that this was a lie. And this is where I start to gain a lot of doubt and I start to really question things because if a news program, and I don't think people have been paying attention to this, and I don't understand why people aren't as frustrated about this as I am. And this is probably why more so why I'm recording these is because news of the people is the real news. I'm not a Crowder. I'm not Ben Shapiro. I'm not a Young Turks. I'm not Trevor Noah. I'm the everyday guy that's seen this from his own account. And when and hearing stories from people who were closer to it, understand that when 9/11 happened, this is a big moment, and the closer you are to it, the stronger those ripples of effect were. The further those ripples still exist as you go further out, but they're there. And there's things that even I didn't see, thankfully, because from my distance from where I was, I still see 9/11, but I didn't see it from the distance from people who were even at exchange place. I didn't see it from the distance of people who were at, Manhattan side of the river. I didn't see it from people who were at the street level. I didn't see it from any of those angles. And those people witnessed horrors. And for a news program to suggest that all of that is lies, just to defame and make someone look like a liar, just to make Trump look like a liar, whether or not I agree with Trump, that created a lot of questioning. That created a lot of doubt. That created that. Why would you lie about something so big? Why would you discredit all those people, all those families who they're hurt that they didn't get their loved ones back? How dare you? How dare you? Then the nerve is disgusting. It truly turns my stomach. I can't understand how anyone who wrote that particular article, the one that I just read, or anyone who followed up with that shit, still has their job after. I'm shaking about it. I find it fascinating when sites and podcasters are shut down for they for apparently giving misinformation. Know that this video I'm setting, what I'm giving to you, this is not misinformation. I'm not. That day was real. That day happened, and many of us who were there to witness it. If sites, if people, if podcasts could be shut down, could be silenced, could be suspended for misinformation on small things, how does a news program like CNN stay in power? Still keep your fucking ear, and pardon my French, still keep your its ear and attention. And they could lie about something like that, something monumental, something that's American history. We were there to witness American history. It's a horror. How you could have that's criminal. That to me, that's criminal. I find it fascinating that people like I'm not agreeing with what happened, what Alex Jones was preaching. I don't even know exactly what Alex Jones was preaching. All I know is he got in trouble for saying some shit didn't happen that happened to people. If he could get in trouble for saying something like that didn't happen to people when it happens, but I don't know what it all was, and nor do I care. Those people suffered their problem, their trauma. They suffered their own miniature 9/11. That's another thing that people aren't understanding is that whenever these little school shootings happen, those kids are suffering their own miniature 9/11. They're seeing things that people who walked out of those buildings alive, thankfully, witnessed when they seen the ground level and seeing what happens when bodies hit the ground after coming down from 110 stories up. If people like him could be prosecuted for something like that, how does CNN keep its flow? How do people keep giving into it? How do people keep listening to it? At what point do you not stop and question? What else are they maybe lying to you about? I guess that was me coming off my soapbox, right? It's a it's a big deal to me, and the days coming up. There's probably more videos coming. Pardon the foul language. There's no excuse for it. I tried to come off as more articulate and less belligerent. So, my apologies. I try to do better going forward, but hopefully, someone's hearing what I'm trying to say, and they taking good from it. I hope that someone's taking good from it. Yeah, have a good day. Be well.